Hello everyone, I hope you're all having a fabulous Wednesday. Today I have a little bit of a different video, as you could tell from the title. This is going to be a reveal slash first impression slash detailed information video on the organizer. In the 10 plus years that I've been buying handbags, I've never thought about getting a purse organizer or a base shaper. Not that there's anything wrong with them. To me, I definitely appreciate what they bring to the table, and I appreciate the fact that they end up organizing your handbag so much more, and it's so much easier to be able to retrieve the items very quickly. But for me, you know, for example, on the Speedy, a lot of people aren't a fan of the sag that the Speedy gets at the bottom. When you end up putting all of your items inside, everything tends to gravitate towards the bottom, and you have this sag that's very noticeable. So a lot of people aren't a fan of it, and an organizer or a base shaper will really end up helping with that. But for me, I've always appreciated that characteristic. That's one of the things that I love about the Speedy the most, and I still do to this day. But it wasn't until my recent purchase of the Chanel Deauville where I really entertained and I really thought about getting an organizer. I talked about this a few times on Instagram. I reached out to you guys, and a lot of you gave me some awesome information. And even though I have been lately using it with larger small leather goods where it really ends up holding its shape a lot better, I still thought that maybe in the long run, getting an organizer for it would be the best bet, because it is a soft material, and I feel that over time, the more and more that I use it, maybe the creases will end up getting a little bit more noticeable to the point where it's a little bit more irreversible, if you will. And when I ended up purchasing the Deauville, it was really out of my comfort zone, because a lot of you know that I end up going for very structured, very, you know, I mean, just very structured bags in general. It's something that I've always appreciated and something that I've always been attracted to, even though I appreciate the hobos and the slouchy look. So again, I decided to, you know, I just kept thinking, maybe I should get an organizer, maybe I shouldn't. It was all over the place. I was all over the place. I couldn't make up my mind. And on my last post, my very good friends at Samorga Organizer, they reached out and they said that they wanted to send me one so that way I can see if it ends up working out for my lifestyle or not. So I thought that was really awesome. Samorga Organizer is the, I mean, they started the whole organizer. A lot of people, I mean, there's a ton of videos on YouTube about these organizers. They are high quality, and a lot of people rave about how great they are. Even people that have converted into using purse organizers. So I'm wondering if that's going to happen to me. But like I said before, I've never really thought about getting one. But they reached out to me and they said that they wanted to send me one to see if it ends up working out. But they ended up sending me one for my Chanel Deauville, because that's the one that I really ended up going back and forth on. And they were kind enough to send me another one as well. This is for the Speedy 25 bandolier. But this company, I mean, they are so incredibly kind. They are so incredibly sweet. Anytime I had a question about something, they were just very, very prompt in their response. But before I get into the dimensions, and I'm also going to show you guys how it ends up fitting inside of the Deauville and my Speedy 25 bandolier, they not only offer organizers for the Speedy and the Deauville, no, they offer organizers for Neverfulls, for Goyard St. Louis, for Mulberry, for Hermes Birkins and Lindy's, and Givenchy Antigonas, and they have so many different types of organizers for so many different types of brands, which I thought was really, really awesome, because let's be honest, there's not really a one size fits all when it comes to handbags. They all have their own unique shape. But they also are offering a 20% off of their complete, off your complete order if you end up using the coupon code on the description box below. I'll make sure and put that in there. But the coupon code, like I said before, is for 20% off, which I thought was incredibly awesome. I think the most that I've ever seen on their website is 15% off. So the fact that they're adding a little bit more, I thought was incredible, and I mean, just amazingly generous of them. So thank you guys so much from the bottom of my heart. And the coupon code actually ends the 31st of December, which is plenty of time, because even though I'm going to be doing a reveal and you know, first impression on it, I do want to do a dedicated review to these in 30 days. So I will use these for 30 days. That way I can really end up getting a feel for them, and I can really end up assessing if they end up working out for my lifestyle or not. And I can give you guys the, you know, the good, the bad, and the ugly, like I always do. So again, Samorga, thank you so much for reaching out and for sending these to me. I thought that was awesome. So without further ado, let's get into it. All right, so this one here is for the Chanel style Deauville. This is in the color Cloud. This is a 3mm felt with wool. It's a wool blend, so the colors end up looking a lot richer. And this is what it is. There are no side pockets, but on the inside you have one slip pocket here. You have 2 slip pockets here, another little pocket there, 1 or 2 other pockets here, and then you also have another pocket there, and you have an open space, which I really, really like. I don't know the exact model number for this one. If I can find it, I will put it on the description box below. And they all come with this little guy here. It says Samorga. They're focusing, there we go. And it says dry clean, do not bleach, iron medium, wipe off spills immediately. Material is 30% wool, 30% nylon, 40% polyester, and they are made and produced in Korea. So there's this one, and then for the Speedy 25 bandolier, this is in the color pink, and this is, I have my notes down here because I don't want to forget, and I will put everything on the description box below. So this is a 2mm felt, and this is LV S25-2. Like I said, I will put that on the description box below. This has a total of 10 pockets, and what I really like about this one is the fact that it has a removable Velcro. So you can take this off if you need a little bit more space, or maybe if your items are a little bit wider and, you know, let's say that the pockets don't really offer too much movement, you can always end up taking this part out. So again, you have a total of 10 pockets. But the measurements on this one is 8.9 inches in length. It is 5.5 inches in height and 5.1 inches in depth. And I will also tell you guys the weight on these. This one is 13.5 inches in length. This is 7 inches in height and 6.5 inches in depth. This one was a little tricky, to be honest, because with the Deauville, I wanted something that was going to fit like a glove inside of the bag. I didn't want any gaps between the organizer and the bag, and this is, I mean, this fits exactly perfect to a T. So that way I feel that it'll also end up holding its shape a lot better because there are no gaps. It just ends up fitting and giving it a lot more structure. All right, so before I forget, this is 10.1 ounces. I weighed it out. So this will add 10.1 ounces to the Deauville. And the Speedy one, oh, there's also 2 pockets on the front that I forgot to mention. This one weighs in at 5.5 ounces. So that's just something to keep in mind. Now, when it comes to the first impression of these, I am absolutely amazed by the quality that these are. These are fantastic. They feel, I mean, very, very high quality, very, very soft. And I also asked, just in case, will these end up having color transfer on my lighter small leather goods? Because, you know, you never know, like the Demi Azur Mini Pochette, what if I end up putting it on here, will end up having residue of hot pink? And they said no, there should be no color transfer. So that also made me really happy. Just in case I end up getting one that's black or one that is a darker color, then I know that I won't end up having any type of color transfer. Now, when it comes to these, I was wondering, okay, so this is 10.1 ounces. Even though the Deauville is lightweight on its own because of the materials that it's made out of, I still thought maybe it'll be too heavy because I am adding an extra 10 ounces to this, not including the items inside. So I am wondering how it'll end up affecting the weight of the bag as I end up using it or as I end up carrying it over time. So that's something that I'm kind of, I have in the back of my mind. But I will have to say that I really like the fact that it's going to be so much easier to find the items in the Deauville because I do have black interior in there, and sometimes if I have all black small leather goods, it's hard to find them. You know what I mean? Not hard to find them because it's a large bag, but they end up blending in very, very nicely with the interior. So I went for the lighter color, and they have an array of different colors to choose from as well. So I really do like that. And just the overall fact that you have a little bit more organization. The fact that you can retrieve your items a lot quicker. And when I did the review on the Speedy 25 bandolier, I said that if you end up going for darker small leather goods because of the size of the opening, sometimes you end up just rifling through the items as quickly as you can when you're at the checkout. So I said that it was kind of a con, you know, it depends on the person, but I also want for a lighter color to be able to show up a little bit more so I can get those items. So the fact that I can put these on their side, I thought was great. So now I want to show you guys how I fit them inside of the bags, and then we will go from there. So here's the Chanel Deauville. This is the large size, 30 centimeter, and it doesn't have anything inside right now. I just have the little snap button closure here. Sometimes I feel that it ends up holding its shape a little bit better that way. All right, so hopefully the focus is working, because last time I did this this angle, it didn't really end up working out. But if I was to let it go, that's pretty much what happens. It ends up flattening out a little bit just because it is a very soft material. So it doesn't have anything inside. And now let me show you guys how it looks with the organizer. And the color is a little different. It almost has a little bit of a like a warm tint to it, but there are absolutely no gaps, which is exactly what I wanted. So let me see. Hopefully it's focusing. There are no gaps. It pretty much ends up being flush with the interior, which is what I really liked. But check it out. There's nothing inside, but it ends up just staying in the upright position without anything, which I think is really awesome, because over time, like I was mentioning, sometimes these little ripples, sometimes because of the material that it has, you'll end up seeing this a little bit more noticeable. It'll be a lot more noticeable as the time goes forward with this bag. So there you go. It doesn't have anything inside, and it ends up just staying in the upright position, which I am totally ecstatic about. All right, so let me just show you all the items that I have in here. Oops, if I was to fit them in. Let me take this out. There we go. There we go. I really need to learn to use the pockets. All right, let's put that pocket there. We'll put this here. And I still have quite a bit of space. To be honest, I might end up adding more items in here just because I have the ability to do that, which is a scary thought, because as you guys know, I end up going for everything and the kitchen sink when it comes to my totes. So there you go. It's a lot easier to see everything. You're able to retrieve everything just a lot quicker, I would imagine. And there we go. But it does end up adding quite a bit more weight to it. Like I said, it is the 10.1 ounces. So that is something to keep in the back of your mind. All right, so there is the Deauville. All right, so hopefully this angle ends up helping out. I think it's a little crooked, but it'll end up working. I took off my ring because I think it'll end up getting stuck. All right, so this is completely empty, and I have a few small leather goods here to show you. And I decided to take out the Velcro, the middle part, just to see. It might be a little bit easier to fit in, just because I think it might be a tight fit. I haven't tried this, so let's try it out and see how it works. It's a little fussier just because it does have, I mean, the Speedy does have a smaller opening. Okay, and there, oh my goodness, check that out. It almost looks like it has hot pink interior on its own, which I am loving. Check it out. So it seemed to be a little bit easier to fit it in here without the Velcro interior. And there is a gap in between the monogram canvas and where the organizer ends. It almost feels like it's maybe 3/4 of an inch to an inch difference. So I wonder how that'll end up wearing over time. I think it'll be fine just because it already has the structure at this top part of the Speedy. So I think it should be fine. All right, so let's try these out. Let's see how this works. There's the mini pochette. We'll put this guy in as well, which is the O case from Chanel. And as I mentioned in the video or the review on the Speedy, the zipper has really relaxed. And by putting in the organizer, it didn't stretch it out either, which I really like. So there's my round coin purse, my monogram clay, and let's put my phone on one of the pockets, which I am really loving. All right, so here we go. As you can see, the phone is a lot easier to retrieve if need be, because sometimes it ends up being on my back pocket just because it makes it a lot easier. But now you can see everything a lot better, I believe, than before, just because it's not the dark, you know, brown interior that the monogram canvas has. So I do like that. It ends up, I mean, it is dark in there because I do have dark small leather goods, but I feel that because of the light of the organizer, you're able to see them better. So maybe I'll be able to retrieve them a lot quicker than before. So I am a fan. Check that out. And it doesn't really have too much of the sag going on just because it is a little bit flatter. So there we go. Even though with the Speedy 25 bandolier, you don't really see the sag just because of the type of, just because of how small this bag is. But there we go. So Only time will tell how this will end up working out. And I did forget to mention that Samorga Organizer they do offer international shipping. So it doesn't matter if you're in the States, if you're in London, if you're in Paris, if you're, in South America, wherever you are, if you are interested in checking out their organizers, they do offer worldwide shipping, which I thought was really awesome. And their prices vary. Some of the items are $30 up to $43 to $50. It really depends on the style of organizer that you're going for. But there we go. So it is now completely organized inside of my Speedy 25 bandolier and the Chanel Deauville large size. And I will make sure and put the measurements on the description box below. So I hope that this video was helpful by being able to talk about, my first impression on it and whether or not it's something that I'll end up gravitating towards in the future. Like I said before, I've always appreciated the organizer and I've always appreciated the base shaper, but the fact that I can end up finding my items a lot quicker might be a major, major plus, and it might end up being a game changer for me. You never know. And again, make sure and check out Samorga Organizer. I'll put their website on the description box below, and don't forget they're offering 20% off by using my coupon code down below, which I thought was incredibly kind. Once again, Samorga, thank you guys so much for being such an amazing team and just being so incredibly friendly. I was able to get these. It took a total of 6 days for me to get them from Korea, so it was like priority mail. It was awesome. So I really do love that, and hopefully it ends up working out. Who knows? But don't forget, I will also be doing an update 30-day review on these, in the 30 days to see if it ends up working out. Who knows? Fingers crossed. Maybe I'm going in a whole new direction. I never thought that I would end up having a crossbody bag, and now I do. And I never thought that I would have an organizer, and now I do. So as the title says, never say never. So thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up. If you haven't already and you would like to, please subscribe to my YouTube channel by clicking on the red button down below and hitting that bell so you're notified when I upload videos, which is anywhere from 2 to 3 times a week. And again, I hope that this video was helpful, and I will see you guys in my next one. And as always, make it a fabulous day or not. The choice is yours. Have a great day, you guys.